Hey guys, I'll be with you in just a moment. Glad to see you tonight. Hey everybody! Thanks for popping in tonight. I'm really excited about the demonstration that I'm going to do tonight. Hopefully it'll go well. You never know, you know. But tonight I'm going to be doing an update on a project. I know Cindy and Leslie, you've been looking forward to this, and so have I. It's just been a matter of time getting everything together that I needed for this workshop. So before I talk more about get started doing our project, let me just show you. This is the Farm Fresh locally grown board that we are going to be working on tonight. This is pretty big. It's actually about 18 inches tall, and excuse me, I made this out of pallets. I'm going to turn it around so you can see the lovely old pallets on the back side. And this, the wood that I got from this pallet was from a cabinet that I got from my bathroom. So I love the fact that it's recycled. Excuse me. And it's kind of rustic looking. It's got nails in it, and I mean, they're not sticking out, but there's nail heads in there. There's holes. There's gaps. It's beautiful, and I love it just like this. So what I did after I put this all together is I threw a coat of whitewash on top of it, and actually didn't even paint it. I ragged it. So all you do is take some old t-shirts or whatever you got and kind of just rub your paint onto the wood after you've sanded it a little bit, and that's how you get this really nice antique kind of look. I think it looks pretty cool. So I'm not going to be able to do this project while I am holding this, but I just wanted to show you that I don't know if you remember, but we had watermelons on here at one point, and now we've got pumpkins. But the way that I created this board, you can remove them because they're on Velcro dots. So tonight we're going to add something new on the bottom for the holidays, and we're also going to add some Velcro dots onto these so that, you know, when spring comes around or Christmas is over and we want to change it, you just take it off and replace it with something new. So that is our locally grown transfer. This is available on my website if you don't have it already. I also have this in my shop if you live locally to me, or if you'd like one really, really quickly, let me know and I can mail them out to you as well. You ready to get started? All right, let me put this away. And we will get on with it. Move these pumpkins. So, I wasn't really sure what I was going to put on this this project, but I thought maybe we'd have some really cool Christmas trees to use, and we do, but they just weren't quite what I was looking for. They were a little too modern looking. So I think Leslie might have suggested this right around the same time I was thinking about what I was going to do with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to decorate this up with the vintage truck. Everybody's favorite. So let me get my camera set up so that you can see what I have going on here, and we will get this project going. Hope you have a nice drink tonight to sit with and watch, because this one's going to be a little bit longer than some of the ones that I've done recently. So yes, there will be workshops. I'm working on dates. I just got 8 of those surfaces put together. I was going to go outside and sand them off a little bit today, but it was too darn cold. So it's going to warm up this week, and I'll be sanding them down and getting them all ragged up, and I'll be posting some dates. And you too, I know that you're waiting, so I'm going to be calling you to see which sessions you would like to come to. So I'm going to get started by showing you what I have on my table here. So this is my vintage truck that I cut out of, some of them are plywood, some of them are MDF. I've been playing around with different kinds of wood. Let me tip this a little bit. There we go. Playing with a couple different kinds of wood. I don't went too far. Seeing what was best to paint and cut and sand and all that good stuff. So I have cut out a whole bunch of these trucks for you guys and painted them black because it's going to look beautiful. I'm so excited to show you how this project works. So this is our vintage truck transfer. This one has been used a lot. Every time I use it, I say, this has got to be the last time. This is going to be the last time. I have to retire this and get a new one. But one of the reasons that I decided to become a Chalk Couture designer was because I fell in love with this transfer, and I still love it. So we are going to put this vintage truck on here. You can just guess what's going on in the back. I don't even have to tell you, right? But we're going to make this really interesting, not just a plain old truck just like this, which would look fine, by the way, but we're going to give it a buffalo plaid body so that it looks even more interesting. You ready to get going? This again has been used I don't know how many times. I have already written on the backs of all of my pieces so that I know which side is the matte side, so that when I'm done using them, I can wash them, dry them, put them back on the carrier sheet on the shiny side, which is the side that does not have writing on it. If by any chance this doesn't hold up through this project, I will be getting a new vintage truck, but right now I'm going to keep going with this one because it's still working. So I'm just going to peel the buffalo plaid body of the truck first. It is not real sticky anymore, but it's still fine. I think, as far as I know, it's going to be awesome. So the tricky part is finding where it goes, and I have made this transfer, the surface, a little bit larger than the actual transfer of the truck itself. I like to have a little wiggle room on the sides in case you're not in the perfect spot, or sometimes we have transfers that have screens that are so large that you don't have much area to stick to the surface. So I'm going to put this down there, and the best thing to do is hold it up to the light and you can see pretty much where you've got your transfer going. And this actually looks really pretty good as far as I can see. There's equal distance there. I might pull it down just a little bit in the back, just a smidge. And check it again. You haven't done a truck yet? This is one of my all-time forever favorites. All right, I think it's pretty good. If it's not, we'll figure that out later. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my squeegees, and I'm going to be using the small squeegee for now. And I'm going to work this down and see if I can get as many bumps and bubbles out of it as I can. This transfer rarely, if ever, comes out perfect. There are very, very fine lines that run through the whole design, and most of the time you get one that smudges, and it's okay. It's just a look, and it's normal. It happens to everybody. So I'm going to get this down nice and tight. Whoops, I got a little bump right here. Let me feel. No, I guess I don't. There it is. Yeah, I found one. There's a little piece of dust right here. I'm going to get that off and smooth that down again, and we're almost ready to get started with our chalk paste. So I'm going to be doing the truck in red, white, and black. I don't obviously need to use black because the truck is black. So I've got my bright white chalk paste available, and I'm going to be using scarlet, which is a new red color that's really, really pretty. Wait, Cindy, you're going to be doing trucks like crazy after you see how cute these come out. So I'm going to do the buffalo plaid in white. If I can get the jar open. And as always, you're going to want to take your stir stick and give this a good stir before you get started. That incorporates all of the oils and just mixes it up nice and smooth. You want it to be about the consistency of sour cream or cake batter, but if it feels more like a brownie batter, it's too thick. That means you need to spray a little bit of distilled water in. I feel like this needs just a little bit of distilled water. I recommend using distilled rather than tap water because sometimes tap water contains bacteria that can contaminate your jars and cause them to go moldy. Nobody likes moldy chalk paste. It's happened to me. It stinks in more ways than one. That looks beautiful. All right, that looks great. So get my little squeegee back out, blow off the chalk dust. So oops, let me just grab this here. Watching your comments. Hey guys, thanks for sharing. If you are, oops, I said that word. If you are watching today, make sure you hit that SHARE tab for me so other people can see how much fun we have with Chalk Couture products. So taking my small squeegee If you are a brand new chalker, take more than you think you need. Take a nice healthy scoop of this because all of the excess goes back in the jar. You don't have to worry about wasting it. So I'm just going to start at one end of my truck, and I'm going to drag that chalk paste all the way across. If you can do this in one long sweep, you are a professional. A little chunky bit right there, right across the front of the truck. And then I'm going to do the bottom half of it because I couldn't get them all. The squeegee's not wide enough to do all of them. But as soon as you have that covered, you're going to go back over the design and scrape off the excess. Remember I said you don't have to worry about wasting? That's why all the excess comes right off. You want a nice thin coat of chalk on your project, like so. We are done. So now we're going to peel this off while the chalk paste is still wet. Just kind of low and slow. There we go. This one came out really, really well. Surprising because this has been used like crazy. I can't even tell you how many times I have done trucks with that transfer. I definitely got my money's worth. Definitely. All right, let me get a little bowl for my wet squeegees. I've got a lot of colors that we're going to be using tonight. This is going to be so pretty. I'm excited. So before we do the next step, I'm going to go in and dry this. You can let it air dry if you want to. I'm going to use a heat tool. This is a very high heat tool, mostly used for embossing with paper crafting, but you can use it to dry your chalk paste or your paint with, whatever you're doing. Just keep it moving because it is very, very high heat. You can also use your hair dryer. I do too. I love these colors, especially for Christmas. Okay, it does dry really, really quickly. But because I'm going to do layering on top of this, I want to make certain that it's very, very dry. So just because I'm using traditional Christmas colors on this, doesn't mean you have to. If you want to have a green truck or a blue truck or whatever color you like, that can absolutely happen. Make it your own. So one other thing I'm going to do, and I'm kind of doing this backwards in a way because normally I would do this layer first and that would have all been the black layer, but since our background is already black, we don't need to. But I do need these little wheel wells right here. So I'm going to remove the transfer from the carrier sheet just like we did before. Hardly sticky at all, you guys. If this was really, really sticky, I would be fuzzing it like crazy. So I'm going to put this right here, line it up with the wheel wells in the one that we already chalked. And I'm just going to do these little circles in white also. I have done these every single month of the year. We've done. I used to before you know what hit, have a group of ladies that would come over once a month and redesign what was in their trucks. We would permanently seal the truck itself, but we would change it up for like Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day. We had Easter. We had for summer. We had 4th of July. All kinds of really beautiful trucks that people made, but hopefully someday we'll be doing that again. So I just did those in white and peel them up, and those look good. Give those a quick dry. See how fast that dries? Just takes a couple seconds. Okay, so the next layer that I'm going to do is the basic truck itself. So here is that piece. I do want to get a little bit of tape to cover up the, what do you call those? The boards in the back of the truck. I don't know what they're called. Terrible. So let me just move this aside. I'm just going to cover this. It's kind of like a masking technique. I'm going to cover the back side of the wooden rails, I guess. We'll call them wooden rails for now. And that way I won't chalk over them by mistake. So those are right about there. This is sort of like painting tape. That blue tape that you can buy for painting projects. This is really cool. It's a Chalk Couture one. It also has measurements on it, so that if you're trying to get something nice and straight or space out letters evenly, this will do the trick. Oh, thanks, Annie. All right, my most used transfer ever. You guys, you want to know a story about this one? This was the very first transfer I ever used. And I had such a hard time with it. I'm going to admit it to you guys, is that I cried. I tried it and tried it and tried it, and I was doing something really, really wrong, and I was just letting my chalk dry before I peeled it off. And I didn't really have a lot of instruction on how to use this product when I started as a designer. So there's my story. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm looking at the circle in the wheel, and I'm lining that up in the center of the white wheel that we chalked already. And that should put this transfer in exactly the right place. And it looks pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. So, here we go. Like I said, there's not a lot of stick left on this. I'm going to get another use out of it, so you wait and see. So, the wheels obviously would probably be black, but I'm going to do them in gray. If you were doing this with a brand new transfer, you'd be fuzzing the heck out of this transfer. If you haven't fuzzed before, what that is you're putting the sticky side of the transfer against something that will help it pick up a little bit of lint so that it softens the adhesive. Some of our transfers are super, super sticky. So now I'm going to be using Storm for the wheels, which is a medium gray color. Close that for now. And I'm going to be using that color called Scarlet. It's so pretty. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, we're doing workshops, girls. I've been making boards for you. That's what I did. A couple people have brought me some palette boards to work with, and I am really grateful for that. And then somebody dumped off a couple in my parking lot. I don't think it was one of you guys, but it came complete with someone's discarded toilet in our parking lot. So I'm going to make the most out of it and use the pallets. The toilet's going in the dumpster. All right. Annie, I'm sure that Kathy would want hers all glittered up, wouldn't she? I am going to use some glittery stuff in a little bit, but first of all, I'm not on the truck. Not yet, anyway. You'll see. All right, that's nice and stirred up and the great consistency. This is beautiful. Looks perfect. Don't need to add any water here. Always give it a good stir, though. All right. Here we go. I think I'm going to do the wheels first because if I don't do them first, I'll probably forget and make them red. You have more? Oh my goodness. I'll have to let you know. I think I made 8 surfaces yesterday with my husband. We've been busy. We really have. All right. So again, I'm going to go in and do the wheels first. I'm going to grab some of this gray. Again, I think it's called Storm, if you wondered. And I'm going to do the wheels. Trying not to get it on the truck. You kind of have to have a little bit of a steady hand right there, but normally you absolutely don't need to stay in the lines at all. I'm leaving this paste on thick because I have so much more to do on this truck. I don't want the paste to dry before I get finished, so I'm just plopping this on and leaving it very thick. And that way it'll be nice and wet. Okay, got it covered. Now we'll go in and do the truck. I might end up using 2 squeegees. You never know, because there's some tight areas in here. So I'm going to go in and scoop a bunch of that red scarlet chalk paste. And I'm going to start in the middle this time. Hope you guys can see what I'm doing here. And I'm covering all of the truck. If you've never used Chalk Couture transfers before, I'm leaving this thick too, by the way, you will know that wherever you can see the black or that plaid showing through, there is a silk screen that runs through the whole design, which is what gives all of the detail. If it was a stencil, you would never, ever be able to get this much detail. And these are reusable, as you can see. This one's been used a lot. And when you're done with them, you just wash them off and dry them. And they're ready to go again and again. I can't say that I've ever used a transfer more than this one. I really have not. I'll let you know, Annie. I just might take you up on that. I'm just praying that this all works because, like I said, this is not very sticky at all. So far, it looks pretty good. We're going to peel this off after and go in and get those wooden rails on the back as soon as we're done. Boy, you guys, it was freezing today. I really was dying to go out there and sand those surfaces down, but I was like, oh no. All right, I'm going back over and squeegeeing off the excess back in the jar. So you can see there's really no waste. Very little, if that. Just scoop it up, put it back in the jar. Now when you're doing a layering project like this, you don't want to put super much pressure on here. You got to be a little careful. You don't get too over enthusiastic with pushing your paste through the screen, because that can cause the transfer to attach to what's underneath it. It happens sometimes. Just got to be careful. That looks good. A little splat right there. I always try to get the lines smoothed. And then I'm going to go back in and get the gray wheels. Ah, I just got red. And there, where is it? Got a little bit of red in my gray, but that's all right. I'll just pretend it drove through some paint. Okay, that looks pretty good. Here we go. Peel and reveal. Not bad. So pretty. Okay. That's always the exciting part, isn't it, when you peel the transfer off? All right. You know what we're going to do next. We're going to dry this a little bit. It's already starting to look like a Christmas truck, isn't it? And again, if you're using a heat tool like this, keep it moving. You don't want to burn your transfer. Oh, thanks, guys. I'm going a little bit longer with this dry because the larger the area that you're chalking, like see how there's a lot of chalk right there, the longer it takes for it to dry. That was pretty good. Now, The tricky part I'm going to do next is to get the wooden rails on the back of the truck in the right spot. We can do that, right? Take that paper off the tape. Okay, I'm just going to lay this right back on top of where it was, as close as I can anyway. Should be able to see. There we go. Now we're getting there. That's where it goes. Just want to get it where I want it and move just a smidge. Okay. There we go. All right, so now we're just going to do this little tiny wood railing. Let me close up my red. You guys, you want to keep your chalk paste covered as much as possible. Exposing it to the air is what makes it harden up, so you want to keep it closed as much as you can. I'm going to need that again. And we'll go and grab our bark. Oh, you're giving me hearts. Thank you. I love that. All right, where's those stir sticks? Okay, we're going to go in and stir up this bark. I just threw a little scrap of red on there. I don't know where that came from. Stir this up a little bit. This is one of those jars that came in a little wonky. It's almost foamy feeling. I don't know if you guys have gotten any of those. You may have, but they work fine. They just feel a little different. Just give them a good stir. I've actually found that the ones that are a little foamy don't harden as much. Fun fact. Okay, so I'm going to go in with a mini squeegee. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to turn this upside down so that I can work on it this way. It's easier for me to pull down than to start up and then finagle my way around it. I'm going to grab some of that bark chalk paste and let's do these railings. Yeah, it's easier to do it this way for some reason. I cannot wait to show you how pretty this is going to look on that board, because there's more to it than this, you know. All right, peel that back, and there's our railing. Good stuff. All right. There, now you can see it the right way. Okay. Dry that up a little bit, and guess what we're putting in the back? You can just guess. So if you guys are thinking about working on a vintage truck and you don't have the transfers already, we are using the basic vintage truck pattern, transfer pattern. It looks like this. And it comes with both of these two pieces. If you want to do the buffalo plaid though, you'll need to have the winter add-on kit. I do have some of these in stock if you're interested. I think they might be sold out on my website though. So with the winter add-on kit, you get the Christmas tree, you get skis, you get all kinds of wintry things that you can put in the back of your truck or to decorate your truck up. But today we are going to be using a Christmas tree, and this is part of it. This is the first layer. This is a layered tree. So you're going to do your darker green on the bottom, your lighter green up on the top, and then we're going to add some sparkly snow for the final the final layer. So this is a 3-layer tree. All right, so we're going to start with the first one. And again, these have been used a lot. Hardly sticky at all. I actually love them this way. And you're going to use the top part of that railing as your guide to put this down on. Oh, please fit. Okay. Thanks. Let's see, where is that going to fit? Doesn't look quite right. Huh. All right, so it looks like I may have gotten the tree a little bit wonky on the back of the chalk. Let me just hold it up to the light and see it. All right, so because of the way that I cut this, the railing is actually where the tree should be. So what I'm going to do is just mask off the bottom of the tree, just like I did before. Yes, sparkles for Kathy, of course. I'm just going to mask off the area where the railings are, and you will never know that we didn't do it right. I didn't do it right. I shouldn't say you. We. I said we. All right. That's pretty good. A little bit off. You know, these things are, it was tricky to figure out how to cut this all at once. I just moved it a little bit. And it's not perfect, but it is what it is, right? It will look fine. Okay, let's go in there. Come on now. I'm sorry, I keep getting this tape in the wrong spot. There. I think I've got it. All right, so you have a big open area on this tree where you have nothing to stick to transfer down. So make sure you rub down the edges really, really well. And we're going to go in with our color called Meadow. That's a super pretty Christmas green, grass green. It works for lots of things. But if you could see it up close, you would know that there's a little bit of oil, of an oil-like substance floating on the top, which is why you always want to stir it up and make sure you get all those oils and pigments incorporated. Okay, we're good. So I'm going to scoop some of this Meadow for this layer, and of course cover the whole design. All of those open areas get covered. I think we're going to have to mask off all 3 layers. What do you know? No big deal. Okay, that is covered and scraped. And we'll peel that off. And it's going to look pretty just like this, but wait till we add the layers. Love it. Let's dry that up a little bit. And while I'm drying this, I'm just going to clean up a little bit. Keep that moving. All right, that looks pretty good. If you guys have any questions while I'm doing this, please be sure to ask. And if you haven't said hello yet, say hello and tell me where you're from. I love hearing where people are coming from. Some of you are here a lot, so I know where you're from, but it looks like I have a few new people watching, so say hello. All right, this color that I'm using is called Mint Green. Ooh, this is a little thick. Wow, let me see if I have a different color I could use. Let's check this one. Looks like I haven't used mint green in a while. It's an old color. Yeah, I think I'm going to try a different color. That would work too, but I just don't want to have to deal with stirring it all up right now. So this one is called Eucalyptus. I love this color. It's kind of a, it's green, but it has kind of a blue tint. What is with my chalk paste tonight? All right, that needs a little drink too. That a little drink. Yeah, it almost has a slightest blue tint to it. It's gorgeous. But it's like a gray also. Bluish, greenish, gray. Come on. It's not going to cooperate. And I only need a little bit of this too. want to get it too loose either. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, so the second layer we're going to do is this one. And as I said, I'm sure we're going to have to tape that off a little bit again. So we're going to line that up. If you were doing this on a chalkboard, there are little registration marks, but we don't have a chalkboard to work on this time. So you kind of have to eyeball where you're going with this. Let's see, where's the top of the tree? Let's see if that looks right. Okay, that looks pretty good. It's right in the middle. Have a little rub. Need my tape again. There it is. And we're just going to tape off that area. Thanks, Kathy. There's my sparkle girl. Kathy's not happy unless it sparkles. It's okay. We get you. We understand you. All right. So I'm going to go in and get some of that eucalyptus. And again, spread it all over the design. You don't want to put too much pressure on here because you don't want to pull up the green that's below it. And scrape off the excess. And peel. It's really pretty. It's always prettier than you guys can even see it. Sometimes I peek back at my videos. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so much prettier in person. You put that under here so you can see that. So far, it's looking pretty good. Our cute little truck. I'm loving it too. All right. Who's ready for some sparkles? I can only guess. We got to make it sparkle, right? Because it's Christmas. Turn that up a little bit. All right. I am surrounded by dirty transfers tonight. I love it. All right, so the last layer that we're going to do is this one, which is very, very tiny. And I always have to figure out which way it goes. I think it's this way. Pretty sure. Actually, maybe it doesn't. Ah, no, it goes this way. Definitely goes this way. It's really funny the way this one is. It's kind of a shot in the dark with this one because you just can't tell where it goes. Good thing I can see through this transfer a little bit, huh? All right, I'm going to put it right there, I think. I think so. Oh, we don't have to mask this one though. That's nice. And I'm going to use Kathy's all-time favorite color, Shimmer Frost. I know you like all the shimmers, don't you? So the shimmer pastes are wonderful. They very rarely need a stir. I don't know if I've ever added water to one. They stay nice and creamy and beautiful. And I like that about them. I wish they were all like that. But they're all fine. So I'm just going to take our scoop of that. And we're going to add some sparkly snow to the top of our tree. And scrape off the excess. And peel that away. So when you guys are peeling your transfers, my first instinct is always to grab the top corner. As soon as you can grab it from the center, either up or down, pulling left or right, grab it. Because pulling it from just the corners will make your transfers stretch. So there's just a little bit of sparkle on our tree, and I know it's really hard to see in the cameras. We're going to add more though. There will be more. Okay, so I'm going to pull up my board so I can show you something. I could, let me see if I can hold this without dropping it. I could just put this on the board like so, right? And it's cute. but I felt like it was a little too small. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do. I'm going to show you. All right, so I also cut these half circles, which give the truck a little bit more substance. And it's going to go on here like that. I know it looks a little bit boring, but wait till you see what we're going to do with this. First of all, did I dry that snow? I better just hit that with the dryer for a second. Because I know myself. I'll put my hand in it. The shimmer paste do take just a few more minutes, not minutes, but a little bit longer to dry than regular chalk paste. But I'm going to glue this to the board, so we got a really cool 3D effect going on here. It's about half the tree and most of the front bumper. And I really should get another stick of glue because this isn't going to hold all the way through. Hang in there. Be right back. Okay, back in business. This glue gun I think I've had longer than I've had most of my kids. It's ancient, but it still works. So if it ain't broken, don't fix it, right? All right, so I'm gonna put some hot glue on the back of my truck. I want to be careful. You don't want to put it too close to the edge so that the glue squeezes out when you push it down. But you want it to hold. So I'm going to put this about 1.5 inches from the bottom, not measuring of course, so that the front of the bumper sticks out a little bit and the back of the tree sticks out a little bit too. That looks good. All right, now we're going to make some magic. We're going to make snow. How about that? So the way that you make snow is you take your Shimmer Frost chalk paste and a little piece of a kitchen sponge, or if you have a artist sponge, you can use that, whatever you prefer. But I'm going to keep a little piece of paper towel to the side right here. I don't think I'm going to need it, but I'm just going to dab this into the chalk paste and pounce it. Pouncing is just going up and down, all around underneath the truck. So that looks like it's driving through the snow. Or dashing through the snow, whatever you prefer. I'm just pouncing. Whoever thought, huh? And it kind of is, the texture gives it a little bit of a 3D look also. Go right to the edge so that it doesn't look like you just kind of stopped there. Right to the edges. And then we're going to do a little more. You like the snow? Okay, I'm going to make the snow a little bit deep. I'm going to go up the side a little bit. Got a little bit on the bumper. Oh, that's what I wanted. And I'm also, so I've got this pretty good. You don't want it to look like it's painted. You're just pouncing it right here. You're going to go and take a little bit more, and you're going to pounce the bottom of your tires. Just a little bit. So that they look like they're in the snow. Alright, so if you were in a truck and it was snowing like crazy, yes, better here than on the ground, amen. You'd also have a little bit on the roof of your car and the front hood of your car, right? So let's go. Put a little bit on the hood of your truck and a little bit on the roof. Not too much, just easy. Because that's what happens when you're driving. Okay, what do you think? So far so good? Bounce a little bit around on the bottom. Love it. A little heavier on the roof here. Now we're going to add some more too. Wait till you see this. Okay, let's check it out. pretty good. All right, I'm going to put the sponge away for now. And I'm going to take a paintbrush and take the back side of it, dip it into my chalk paste. And I'm just going to dot it around and make snow falling in the sky. Nice and little, nice and light. Try not to make lines with them, just kind of random dots. You probably can't even see them in the camera, can you? They're there. It's kind of adding some interest to the back here, and it does look like it's snowing. So if it was really snowing, you'd also have dots of snow all over the place, right? So just keep going. You don't have to do a lot, but here and there it looks really cute. Gotta put it in the windshield, any place where it might show up. It probably won't show up on your white spots, but all over the place. It looks like it's dashing through the snow for sure. If you want to put some on your Christmas tree, go for it. The more sparkle, the better, right, Kath? There we go. A little bit right there. And because you can see through the windows, there. All right, I could go on and on and on with this, couldn't I? All right, I'm going to hold this up so you can see a little bit closer. You can see the snow on there. You see the sparkle? I don't know if you can. It's hard to see in camera. So I'm going to show you the difference between just having the truck on there and having it with that arch over it. I think the arch really fills it up nicely. Okay. I really have to hold this up high for you to see this. Okay, so here we go. Should have dried that maybe. There we go. See how that fills it up nicely? You're going to go right down the bottom with it. If you wanted to, you could even make a few little Christmas trees to put on the left and right side of that if you want to. I probably won't do that on this board unless they were separate, because then we'd have Christmas trees all year long. So the last thing that we need to do is put the little Velcro dots on the back of the truck to hold everything in place, and that is something that we will be doing if you come to one of my project workshops. I hope you enjoyed this. This was a really fun project. She would have the glitter on there too. I know, my girl. So what do you think? Nice for Christmas? I love it. It looks really pretty. I'm going to stand up here and let you see the tree a little bit close, the truck a little bit closer. That was so much fun to do, wasn't it? All right. So if you are not local to me, you absolutely can watch this on replay and know how to do your own vintage truck sign like that. This, like I said, is just pallet boards that I whitewashed, locally grown. This is a transfer available on my website. Let me pop up my address there in case you're looking for it. You can see these and all kinds of other design transfers right there. The chalk paste, the tools, everything you need. And if you have any questions, you can always ask me, because I'm happy to answer your questions. All right, I hope you enjoyed. Cindy, oh my gosh, me too. I love this workshop. I can't wait to do it with you guys. If anybody wants to come over and help me sand boards, you're welcome to. Next Form Day, I'll be out in my yard doing some sanding. So that is what I have for you tonight. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. And if you are local to the Agawam, Springfield, Massachusetts area, Hartford, Connecticut area, please make sure that you're in my VIP group. If you're not already, put VIP in the comments and I'll be sure to add you. That way you can get invited to some of my project workshops. All right, have a wonderful evening, and I will see you again real soon. Lots of Christmas projects coming, I promise. I'm so excited. Have a great night. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.